Hey, welcome to the Junk Project. I'm your host, Michelle Hill, and today we have the awesome opportunity, to be joined with our guest, Steve Apodaca. Did I say it correctly? Hello, Steve. Oh, you froze up. Hey, welcome to the Junk Project. I'm your host, Michelle Hill, and today we have the awesome opportunity to be joined with our guest, Steve Apodaca. Did I say it correctly?
You said it 100% correct.
Yes, awesome. So, Steve, please, we'd love to hear what you do and how we can help you with your business.
Awesome. Thank you for the opportunity, Michelle. I'm excited to be with you here today and share a piece of who I am and my story and see what value I can bring to you as well. Named Steve Apodaca, as mentioned. I am a native born and raised Las Vegan. Um, we run two businesses, an independent insurance agency for mainly just life and retirement products, and recently took on a VP position of sales for Phonesites back in November. So I've shifted most of my focus to the Phonesites and have allowed my son, my 19-year-old son, my wife, and my VA run the insurance business. And I just took on in more of an advisory role, so to speak, and so I can help Ryan Stewman and the Phonesites team achieve some very, 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 very big and massive goals. So that's a little bit about me.
I love that because I did forget about that, but now that you brought that up, they have talked quite a bit about how well you were doing with the Phonesites. And can you explain to our audience exactly what Phonesites is?
Sure. So Phonesites is a software company. We're an online-based software company where our users use Phonesites to build out web pages, landing pages, sales pages, funnels, digital business cards. And the caveat there is that it can all be done on your phone without a single piece of code. Literally drag and drop. You press a button, edit your name and your information, you hit the save button, and it's already ready to be delivered out into the public. So the ease of use and the multitude of problems that Phonesites solve in order
Oh, lost you, Steve.
relevant in their branding and marketing is really what sets it apart.
Could you repeat that just a little bit? We lost you for a few minutes and I paused it.
Oh, darn it. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So Phonesites, it's a phone-based, online-based software that allows you to build websites, pages, funnels, digital business cards, all with your two thumbs from your phone without a single piece of code. It's easy to edit some information, hit the save button, and then deliver it out into the public so you can stay relevant with literally anything that you could think of. If you want to make announcements, websites, pages, sales pages, webinars, anything that you just need to get marketed online and delivered into the public, Phonesites allows you to do that in a matter of minutes.
What makes it super nice is you don't even need to have business cards anymore. You can use Phonesites like as a business card, right?
Correct. Yeah. So we just got them, as a matter of fact. I didn't, this is unplanned.
Oh, sweet.
Um, but as you can see, this is the
Oh, I
metal
see.
version of the digital business card.
Mm-hmm.
And how it works is when you tap that to someone's phone. Oh, that opened up Bixby. I don't like Bixby. Bixby's annoying. But when you tap that on someone's phone,
Mm-hmm.
it then pulls up the website. I just have to tell which browser to open it on, and then it opens up the digital business card.
Oh, how cool is that?
Okay. Yeah, and then the other way easy is if someone doesn't like to carry these around is I just have the QR code right there on the home screen. And so we just teach people that, hey, you can stay relevant and leave a good impression, and you can ditch the old cardstock business cards like we used to use back in the day. By the way, 88% of those get thrown away in the first week.
Yeah, I
So
think the only thing they're good for anymore is door prizes.
pretty much, yeah. So I caught my wife throwing a couple thousand away the other day from
Oh,
that
wow.
were just collecting dust in the closet, and she says,
Yeah,
"Are you ever going to use these?" I said, I don't know where to send them."
yeah, yeah.
So now with the digital version, I can send the link to anybody, and they can save me to the phone.
Now, does it save to your phone, or does it save to like your contacts in your phone, or does it save to, is that what it does?
Yeah. So with the card is when you tap it, it's going to allow you to, you can set it up to do one of two things.
Okay.
You can either have it open up the website page, which is what I've got mine set up to do, or when you tap it, it'll just open up the V card, which is the profile that you can download to someone's phone.
Mhm.
So I like the wow factor, I like the presentation factor. So I'd rather lead them to the site, and then on the site I've got a button that says save to phone, and it accomplishes that same thing where it'll just import the profile into their phone. They hit save, and then now if they type in my name in their phone contacts, it'll pull up the entire business card that has website, email, phone number, title, anything else, address that you want to put. That's all now inside their contacts in their phone.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. I love that. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So what we can do is we have some fun sporadic questions that we're going to ask. Are you ready?
Oh, I like this. We have a 5-second timer on this.
Nope, no timers, because some of them are, you're going to go, wow, that was a good question. Maybe
We're in the hot seat here. Good.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Let's do it.
All right. Do you have a favorite quote?
That's not nice. I've got like 20. I'd say the first one that comes off the top of my head is I don't run away from challenges, I run them over.
I like that.
That's just an affirmation that I've said for many years. But the quote that I actually have on my digital business card, there at the bottom, it says, excuses build monuments of nothing and bridges to nowhere. And those who use these tools of incompetence become masters of nothing.
Wow. That's a great quote. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's fitting coming from, our mentor, Ryan Stewman, where he talks about, he's got a famous saying about excuses too. So,
it's funny you say that, because I asked one time about having some car signage, right? So Jonathan Range made me a sticker for my back of my truck window. So it's really big. It says FYE. And so every time I'm looking back, it just reminds me every day. So when I get in the truck, when I get out of the truck, when I look back in the truck, it's just a constant reminder.
There. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love
like
it because it's like, I'll think about giving some stupid excuse about something, even just to myself. And I'm like, nope, not today. Can't do it. So I love it.
Part of that for me is I always just look at it as someone's always got it worse than me.
Yeah.
Right. And so what am I complaining about? Someone's dealing with cancer right now, or somebody's dealing with not having 2 legs to walk on, or they're blind or something, right? So now I know that's a blessing for so many people, or for certain people that they find blessings in adversity. But again, I always just look at it when I'm looking to throw myself a pity party is, well, you know what, you could be worse off, so get your butt up and get into gear.
Yeah. Yep. I love it. All right. So I have another question for you.
Okay.
If you could have a billboard with anything on it, what would it say?
I'd put my QR code to the business site.
I like that one.
Just joking.
I'm still working. You know what? I'll ask some of these questions and I'm like, I still don't have an answer for some of these myself. They're kind of tough.
All right. So repeat that one more time. If I had a billboard, what would it say?
With anything on it. You could put anything you want on it. What would it say?
Oh, gosh, man.
That's a tricky one.
It probably would just be a positive message just to whoever lays eyeballs on it. And it would probably say something to the effect of, this isn't a dress rehearsal. We don't get
Oh, I
any
like that.
do-overs.
Oh, I
We
like
don't
that.
we don't we don't get do-overs in life. And so, I'm a big proponent on not wasting time, since we don't get that back. And the pain of regret weighs so much more in comparison to the pain of change, which can happen now,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to getting to the end of your life and thinking, oh my gosh, what did I do? Right?
Yeah.
What did I squander? And that regret is there because you can't go back. There are no redos, no do-overs. So I would say, probably on the Billboard, this isn't a dress rehearsal. We don't get any we don't get any do-overs or something
Yeah.
like that.
I like that because I knew somebody who lived their whole life with regret, that they had gotten in an argument, with their dad when they were like 16. So you're talking back in the 60s, right? And he lived he died at 48, but he lived 48 years with regret, or maybe not
Yeah.
48, but his whole life, right? And I refuse to do what he did because I saw what it did to him. And I'm like, nope, so I've learned that, yeah, I'm going to make mistakes, and sometimes I'm going to hurt people, and not on purpose. And so I'm just like, okay, I have to, let God know, hey, can you tell him I'm sorry? Because I don't know who these people are. And,
Right.
and then I'm able to forgive myself and let it go, because if I don't let go, I will continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over. I don't know if you've ever done that, but I've done that when I don't let go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And to your point about forgiving oneself, I wrestled with that myself. I didn't become an entrepreneur until I was 33, 34.
Mm-hmm.
And I had so much regret that I had been working since I was 14 years old and really didn't have anything to show for it, quote unquote. And I don't mean materialistically, but, freedom of time, freedom with family,
Yeah.
the things that are important and that matter. And I was really mad at myself for going that long, not knowing and being in ignorance. And so I had to forgive myself, to say, hey, look, it wasn't your fault. Your parents can, they don't, they, your parents teach you only what they know. They can't teach you what they don't know. Right. You're, a lot of times we're products of our environments.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so a lot of times we just don't know, but but even that pain of regret of spending that much time in ignorance was still enough pain for me to where I had to forgive myself. And when I did, that's when things really opened up.
I let people know that, man, when you can learn to forgive, that is like the greatest superpower there really is, because it just lifts so much off of you. Not only forgive yourself, but to forgive others for things that maybe they've done to you. And I've taught myself for so many years to do this, that it's so automatic. I don't even think about it anymore. It just done.
Yeah.
Right.
Slides right off the back.
It really does. Right. It just doesn't bother me. It might for a little bit, and then, okay, I'm done. That's it. So
Yeah.
on the superpower thing, what is your superpower?
I'd say the first thing that jumped out of my mind is probably say is tolerance. That's probably my superpower.
Yeah.
I'd say the second one is that I over deliver. Somebody told me a while back, actually a guy from Apex that I respect. He's like, you really like to overcompensate, don't you? And at first I was really hurt, right? And I'm like, is that a bad thing? Right. But part of me is I want to leave a unique experience for anybody that I come across with, because again, time is valuable. Our few minutes together today, I want to make sure that we didn't waste it, right?
Right. Right.
And so my goal is to just leave a great experience, leave the world a better place than I found it. And I just like to maximize the time that I have with people to show that. And so if I overcompensate and over deliver, I guess so be it. That's just part of, things like what Stewman teaches us, is just bring value first. And I have the rule of thumb of giving 10 times, and you might get something back once, but either way, that doesn't change me.
Yeah, I love that. And it made me think that I like to write notes, while I'm listening, because it's just easier for me to remember, and then I have something to go back on. But as you were talking, it made me realize this next question. So what would you like your legacy to be?
Oh, wow. I've thought about this a lot. When they're patting my face with the shovel and dirt, it's not going to have the net worth, it's not going to have the accolades. What I'd really like for it to say is that, he made his children proud, right? His family proud, family man, God first, just an inspiration, right?
Yeah.
I'd say that's what my legacy would be, is just, again, that I left the world, or at least that I died trying to leave
Yeah.
the world a better place than I found it. Because there's like we said off recording, is nobody in this world owes you anything but a hard time. And I'm like, that to me doesn't have to be the what is it, that's the exception, not the rule, or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have to conform to that. And so
Yeah.
whatever I can do to make it better, I'm going to do that. And I'd hope for that to be my legacy.
Yeah. I've decided, I think I want to do my own eulogy.
Right, read this.
I'm gonna read it on camera. And I want it to be where, when I'm dead, I want it to be a party, right? And I love helium, and I love balloons and cake and stuff like that. So I want him to question, is she dead or is she joking? So,
Are we getting punked? She's gonna pop out of here somewhere.
she gonna pop out of the casket. I'm just waiting. That's how I've decided.
You're gonna get people thinking like Tupac or Hoffa. Like, I bet she's somewhere. I bet she's alive out in like Alaska or something.
Trying to race somebody to the quick trip door. Yeah. I've seen a few funerals, and I'm like, I just don't want it to be a sad place. It's not for me. I'm gone. So I want it to be a celebration of my life. And if nobody shows, I'm good with that. I don't think I'm going to care,
Yeah.
So as long as dogs are there, man, I'm content. Man, I just want
There
dogs.
we go.
Yeah. I love dogs.
If you go before me, I'll make sure that happens.
I appreciate that. All right. What is your favorite book?
Outwitting the Devil.
What is it?
Outwitting the Devil.
Isn't that Napoleon Hill?
Napoleon Hill.
That's a good one.
The reason why I like that book so much is it's like a handbook for life. I'm a practical guy. I'm a how-to. Show me how it's done, right? Like a player to a coach. If you tell me in the football field to run up 15 yards, hang a left, and turn around, that the ball is going to get right into my breadbasket, I'll do that, right? And so Outwitting the Devil to me is kind of like that. It's showing you what the opposition is attacking you with. It shows you what to look out for, and it tells you why those things, you should look out for those things. And it goes into the very minute, to the daily things that society deems normal, things like smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, relationships, I mean, just so many different practical life things that tell you what to look out for and why to look out for them. And it was very prophetic, because it was written in the 20s or 30s, I believe, and wasn't released until like 07. And the things that were relevant then are still relevant today.
And it's amazing. I mean, I did read the book. It was a little hard read for me, because I need things a little bit more basic and just like, but I do understand what you're saying. It really was like I forgot the word now, but how you described it, it's really a good book, and I am going to read it again. And after the other 25, 30 books I got on my list.
I think I've read it twice, but I've listened to the audio version probably, 20 times.
that's a good idea too, because sometimes you pick up things different. I love to listen to podcasts. I don't really listen to music much anymore. I really just
Hmm.
listen to all these upbeat, you know, outgoing, get off your butt podcasts, and all business oriented. I love business books and things like that. The more I can learn, I feel like I'm the one in remedial class. So I feel like you, I feel like I'm behind, especially for my
Hmm.
age. And I hear people who are like 18, 19, and I'm like, all right, I'm a little jealous, but you know what? Um, I look at the road I traveled, and it's not the road I chose, but it's
Hmm.
the road I went down. And
Hmm.
so out of everything, I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change one thing. I just
Right.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
So it's what I've learned. I've learned to realize I'm just slower than everybody else, but I do eventually get it. And as long as I keep working on that, that's all
Hmm.
I could ask for. At least I continue. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Same. I'm looking towards fulfillment, self-fulfillment. I like going to bed at night knowing that I left things on the field that day.
yeah,
So that might be ego. I mean, I don't know
yeah,
what you want to call it. It could be negative to some people, but to me, I like the saying, chase perfection, achieve excellence.
yeah,
I believe we were created in the image of God. God is omnipotent, all powerful, and all wisdom, and He wants us to be like Him. And so, if it's possible and attainable, I'm chasing it. And I know I'll fall short, but at least if I fall short, I'm still elevated, towards becoming that elite version of myself that we always hear about.
yeah. I love God. So I make jokes, right? The reason I get migraines is because he's smacking the back of my head going, are you listening yet? And this is why I have migraines all the time, right? Because he's constantly going, do I have your attention yet?
Hey,
Right.
I
So
like it. I'm gonna tell
yeah.
that to my wife. She suffers from migraine. Oh, there she is.
Is that why too? Yeah. So yeah, I love my little jokes, because I'm like, God, you and I are gonna have a discussion when I get up there, and it's not gonna go good for you.
Right?
Like I can do anything,
Like,
but
what's the deal? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So all right. How would your family and friends describe you?
Loyal. I'd say that'd probably be the first thing out of someone's mouth about me is that I'm loyal.
I like that.
I'm relentless, disciplined. I think would probably be at the top two. So other than that, family oriented.
How many kids do you have?
4 children. We started, I was 20 years old when we had our first child. We've been married now almost 21 years, 20 years. I think
You
we're hitting
sound
our
like
20
me.
year, I think we're hitting our 20 year and wedding anniversary this year. But we
That's
have a
awesome.
19-year-old, 15, soon to be 15, a 10, and soon to be 5.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
So
I
we've
wanted
had a
20
million
kids.
reasons to throw in the towel, but we're still here,
Yeah,
kicking and screaming.
there you go. I wanted 20 kids, and I had one, and I'm like, we're good at one. I don't need the other 19. I'm good.
When we met, I said I'd like to have 5 because I'm on my dad's side, I'm the only child, and then my mom had a child, so I have a half brother. And so I was always curious what it'd be like to have, a family like
Mhm.
that. And I grew up kind of without parents after about 12 years old anyway. So
Oh.
I told my wife, I said, I'd like to have maybe 5 kids. And she's like, we can probably do 2. And after the second one, I said, I think I'm content with 2. And she says, no, let's have 5.
Oh,
So so we
that's
settled at
funny.
4 and we're done.
It's so funny because when I was in junior high, all my friends, knew what they wanted to do, or what they thought they wanted to do, right? When they got older. And I didn't. So I thought something was wrong. I mean, I didn't discuss this with my parents, but I thought something was wrong with me because I didn't. So I'm like, I'll just be a housewife. Um, so no, God doesn't work that way either. I've never been a
Well,
housewife. I'm beyond being a housewife. That's come and gone. I was a caretaker. for my late husband and his mom and our son, but I have no regrets because it was just an amazing, amazing marriage. But it's just funny because sometimes what you want and what you get, again, God and I have yet to agree on what we're going to do with my life. So it's going to be,
I tell people all the time, I say sometimes the blessings that you want doesn't come wrapped up in the paper and the bow that you wanted it to come in, but it'll still show up. It's just not the way we expected it.
Yeah. So I don't complain, but my joke is, God and I have yet to agree what we're going to do with my life. He seems to keep winning in this game over here. So I got to the point where I'm going to quit fighting with him. I'm slowing progress. So what is your favorite kind of music?
I'm actually pretty diverse. I think I'd say I like every music except for probably country. My wife adores country, so I still have to hear it inevitably. But I grew up with my mother's borderline Gen X. So I grew up with a lot of 70s and 80s rock. Ended up becoming a DJ where I spun 80s music on vinyl. So I was pretty into that music. But I would say my love and adoration is with a genre called chill step. And it's a soft melodic version of the hardcore dubstep.
So like EDM or techno, is it similar to that?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
It's just very, very melodic with just different drum patterns, but it's really soft. And I guess I just got soft as I got older, but I still liked the melody of it. So I liked it so much that I actually ended up producing my own album and group of tracks of it.
How cool is that?
Yeah, I took a couple of years and learned self-taught how to make the tracks, and I ended up making about I think like 8 or 9 tracks, and it's sitting somewhere in a SoundCloud account. It's free to access, but I don't really share it because sometimes you just get a little embarrassed. But I enjoyed the genre enough to where I wanted to make it, and I did that, and it was just something that I checked off the bucket list, and I'm satisfied with it.
Okay, so what is it called again? Like that kind of music?
Chill step, STEP.
Hill step. Okay.
CHILL. Chill.
Oh, chill step. Okay.
Chill step. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, I'll just send you a link to after we're done. You can just kind of sample it.
Oh, I'd love to. Because ironically, my favorite kind of music is techno and EDM. Anything with no words. I love no words because then I don't have to hear asshole or whatever in it.
My family hates it. So I'll go a little bit deeper. So chill step does not have words. And to your point about the techno, I actually was a house DJ as well. So I definitely know about deep house and hard house from the early 90s all the way up to about probably 2015 or so. Matter of fact, I just built a promotional website for a house event that we're having here in Las Vegas with some legendary DJs that are spinning house and techno. But to your point, no, there's no words in that. There's no words in chill step. And then there's another genre that I like that I've taken a kin to. It's called Synthwave. And that is just synth, SYNTH.
Okay. And then wave.
And it's like a new age version of 80s, but it's got the techno vibe to it and no words.
Oh.
So my family hates the fact that all I listen to all day long, well, not all day long, but when I listen to music, there's no words. They don't like it. So I think you and I we got a good connection there.
Yeah. Yeah. I like big band music too, because I like anything that's just super motivating and up. Yeah. And it's upbeat and you're like, you can't dance, but you can't just stand there, because it's so good too. But it doesn't matter that you can't dance. So
I bet you listen to it when you're working, huh?
I really don't. I usually don't listen to anything, but no, I take it back. I listen to podcasts, but I do want to get back into the music a little bit more. It's been a while. Now, I will say this. I have never, ever in my life been to a concert. I've been terrified of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So now
We
my
skipped concerts for till we were in our late 20s, and I regretted not going sooner.
really,
Yeah.
it was so funny because like when I was in junior high, and you're talking in 80s, I guess, junior high, friends would go to concerts and they'd come back and they're like, oh, these girls will run around naked. I'm like, I don't know why they're running around naked, but I'm not going.
I don't
So
want to go anywhere.
I didn't
So,
understand,
right.
nobody, I was very, very sheltered. So people just didn't explain things to me. And so, I really thought, even into my adult age, this is how sheltered I was, that things that I saw in cartoons could be done. And they were like,
Really happened. Yeah.
no, duh. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know,
You didn't know. Yeah.
so it was very, very sheltered. And so,
Yeah.
when you're sheltered and then your imagination kind of gets the better of you, you're like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not going. So
How did you have a somewhat shaky upbringing?
it was horrible. So it's very, very dysfunctional. And there's something I won't get into yet, but there's stuff I've posted in Apex.
Mhm.
But it was very bad, and it caused PTSD. It caused a lot of things, bipolar disorder, things like that. And I got into drugs at like 12, and I I feel bad for my parents because they literally did everything they possibly could to get me off drugs. And so
Mhm.
I was in girls' homes and rehabs, and one of the girls' homes was so bad. I wasn't even there 6 months, which was fine because I was going to run away anyway, right? When I got to meet with my parents in 6 months, the state came in and shut it down while I was there.
Oh gosh.
So I was immediately sent, that was in Mississippi. I was immediately sent to Wichita, Kansas, to another girls' home where I had more freedom, and I chose to and use my freedom, and I ran away in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the
Mhm.
country. And then
Yeah.
it comes night and it's so country, right? That you can't even see the street or anything, right?
Pitch black. Yeah.
It's bad, right? And I'm like 15. So in the two rehabs, I had issues with those places. So from like 12 to 18, I was in and out of these two girls' homes and two rehabs. And ironically, it was my late husband who got me to quit cold turkey, right?
Wow.
Just by saying you're worth more than that. And so I'm like, oh, here I am. I think I'm a POS.
Yeah.
And I've thought this all my 18 years of life. And now somebody's saying, no, you're not. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's try
Wow.
this. So
Yeah.
quit cold turkey and never touched it again. And at the time I was smoking because I was shooting speed. So I was smoking like 2 cartons of cigarettes a week. And as
Oh,
soon as
wow.
I found out I was pregnant at 20, I quit that cold turkey
Okay.
and never, never done either. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I could tell just with your concert, when we were talking about the concert.
Mhm.
So have you, I know you're probably not up for more recommendations and books,
Oh
but
no, I love it.
have you ever seen this book or heard of it?
I
The
think
Body
I've
Keeps the
I'm
Score.
gonna write it down. I think I've heard of it a long time ago, but obviously I forgot. Let me hang on. I want to write who wrote it.
So that it's a long one, and it's like
Oh,
German or something.
oh, it is. Okay, hang on. Bessel van der Kolk, MD.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
So I was listening to a podcast once, and the guy he had a rough upbringing where he was raped as he was 5 years old, and he was raped by neighborhood kids and had some parental issues or whatever. But he's like, if you got mommy and daddy issues, he's like, read this book. And I was like, shit, I think everybody has that.
Yeah, yeah.
But it goes into there and it talks about what happens as children, and it sticks to us as we get older. And so it might be a benefit because I don't want you to not go see a concert because something happened 50 years ago, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's never just come back up to go. Well, now it's like my husband and I, we just don't like a lot of crowds, and so I don't mind not going. But I was molested by neighbors, and I didn't tell my parents till my late 20s, so they had no clue. But what I appreciate about my parents, and obviously when you're a teenager going through this, you don't appreciate,
hard to see it.
Yeah, is the fact that they cared enough. I mean, I probably cost my parents millions and millions of dollars. I mean, these places were not cheap.
Yeah.
And, it was constant. It was just horrible. So the fact that they continued to keep trying, right, to keep helping to get me off these drugs. I mean, it took me a little while to forgive my parents, but then I realized, you know what, in the end, they've always have been trying to help me. Now, maybe they've been doing it wrong, or maybe it wasn't the right way to help, but you know what, I'm not going to knock somebody for trying, because at least they made the effort, where some people, their parents just didn't even care, and we don't care, go live on the street at 13, whatever. Is that okay? That's what happened to you?
Yeah.
Wow. And see, so for that, I'm thankful. I mean, there's a lot more to the story, but when you learn to forgive, it just changes everything. It really does. Now
it allows you to at least look in the mirror and say, you know what, all things considered, I can still do this.
Yeah. And it's funny, because I would have said my superpower would be forgiveness. And I think really my superpower is learning how to put myself in other people's shoes and looking at it from that perspective and going, okay, I understand now why you chose to do this and everything, because I can really literally put myself in your shoes and go, that makes sense, right? Even if I don't agree with everything you did, or it was wrong, or whatever, I'm really good at being able to do that. So I like that, because it does change your outlook on things when you realize, there could be a reason somebody's driving like an asshole down the highway. That's me usually, but hey.
Right. Well, at least you're an empath. So
well, I didn't realize that's what it was. So that's cool to know.
Yeah. They call it empath, something like that.
Okay. So I have some other questions.
Sure.
What accomplishment are you most proud of?
Does it have to be like a superficial one, or?
It can be anything you want it to be. This is all about, well, it's supposed to be about you, but I think I've been talking a little too much.
Oh no, that's good. We got to get some stuff out of you. Most proud of the accomplishment that I'm most proud about, I'd say it's probably breaking the mold. I would say.
I like it.
Yeah, because I feel like, the term getting woke is thrown around so loosely these days. But realistically, when you know that you don't have to conform to what the majority of society does, I think that's really when you're woke. But then when you also take that journey, and I'd say entrepreneurs are a great job at that. That's why they're called. That's why there's the 1%ers, right? Because they don't conform to that mold. And part of my legacy is also leaving behind generational wealth to the family. Whereas being in insurance, I've paid death claims, and I've seen where a lot of the times families are dying without coverage, and they're leaving their posterity at zero. So they start off at zero, they claw and scratch their way all the way up to where they think they're okay. When they die, they leave their posterity with zero too. And so it's just this constant cycle of repeat, it's start, stop, repeat, start, stop, repeat. And really nobody in the generational line is starting off, better than what the previous generation had left them. Right. And so, Stewman's a good example of that. His children and his children's children are going to be set up because of a decision that Ryan made, and somebody before Ryan didn't make that decision. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he broke the chain.
Exactly. So that in my eyes, it's, things are starting with me, right?
Yeah.
And I don't say that in an egotistical manner and like, oh, I can't wait till I'm on somebody's fireplace mantle in 200 years. It
Yeah.
all started with that guy. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
be like that, right? Um, but I mean, I'm the first in my family to convert to out of Catholicism, right? And so it starts with me. I was the first one to ditch corporate America. All of my
Hmm.
family and everybody else before me, they all went the corporate America route. I ditched that, right? I'm leaving my posterity with assets instead of devastation and debt. So I would just say breaking that mold. And then again, I think I feel like with all these books and things that I read and being with entrepreneurs and successful people, it's being more aware and not conforming to what everybody else does.
And I love that. I mean, that just doesn't get a better answer than that. Exactly. It's awesome. So I have one last question for you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's a tricky. I don't know,
Hope it's
maybe.
not a doozy. Say the best for last.
So how do you get rid of the trash in your life when it piles up? And trash could be mental, emotional, physical, whatever you can consider trash.
I probably do what you do. I purge it.
Yep.
I purge it.
I love it.
I have, let's say it's something that's internal. I have locker room talks with myself where I'm like, hey, what are you doing? You could be doing better. What's going on?
Mhm.
Well, let's start weeding some things out of our life. What's a hindrance? What's getting in the way, right? And if it's in the way, toss it. If it's not important, toss it, right? So I would say probably, purging is what helps me keep junk free.
I love it. That's awesome. We appreciate you coming so much to our show and sharing your God amazing stories
Thank
and
you.
phone sites. I've been in and out of going on with phone sites, so I'm not always on the internet right when everything's going on, and I miss stuff, and I'm trying to
Hmm.
backtrack and figure it out. But I know there's a lot of amazing things, and Ryan is definitely amazing, and I love Apex, and I've tried to, I'm working on explaining that to people, and I'm like, I need to maybe learn how to better explain this. But it's just
Hmm.
an amazing group of people that just help everybody. Just everybody gets built up, and everybody helps everybody, and everybody
Here to
wants to
serve.
see everybody succeed.
Exactly.
And so,
Yep. So
um,
whatever I can do to help you with that, please, my door is open. And for your audience, whoever, if this gets played by 100 people or a million, you can also use me. A friend of Michelle is going to be a friend of me. So
oh,
if you want to just leave a way to get a hold of me, that's fine. Up to you. And
yeah,
again, my
share
door
your
is always
contact
open.
information. You can share it right now, and then when I post it live, I'm gonna leave links in the show for it.
Sure. Yeah. So Steve Apodaca on Facebook, VTHEE Creator, Kreater on Instagram. And then I'd say that's probably going to be the fastest way. I've got all of my other social links. If you can find me on any of those two platforms, you'll find my calendar link, phone number, everything's public. I'm completely transparent. So there's probably 50 different ways anybody can get a hold of me as long as they can find this face somewhere.
I love it. It's a great face. Well,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you, Steve. Thanks so much for sharing your
Appreciate you.
story with us. And
Okay.
thank you guys for listening in. And we appreciate you as well, and hope to catch you next time. Have an awesome
I
day.